It's Monday evening. You had a crazy, busy, and stressful day at work. You come home, you rush to your pantry, you get a bottle of whatever you love to indulge in after a busy day at work. You open it up, you get that hefty pour in a glass, open your refrigerator, and you realize at that moment you have nothing for dinner. How many of you have been there? Because I know that happens to me a lot. But don't stress, Stizzy's Palate got you covered. Today we'll be making a quick, healthy, and oh so delicious dinner for days exactly like these.
Oh, Stizzy, that tastes so good.
What's good, YouTube? Stizzy's Palate here, and we're back. Thank you so much for all the love and support on the first video that we released last Friday. It means the world to me. We're back here again with another episode, and today we're making shrimp bowls. Yes, you heard that right, shrimp bowls. And I'm here to put Chipotle and Qdoba to shame. Stay tuned, and you will see how I make this delicious, quick, and healthy recipe. We will be using shrimp. I am making my own Cajun seasoning for the shrimp. Feel free to use a store-bought if you'd like. Black beans, a fajita vegetable mixture, as well as cilantro lime rice, and a sriracha mayo that's gonna be drizzled over the top of it with some avocado. I know your mouth is watering, so let's get to it. For this recipe, I'm using U16 to 25 shrimp, which means there are between 16 and 25 shrimp per pound, and that is the actual size of the shrimp. Yes, when it comes to seafood, we measure the shrimp by how much fit in a pound. And as you see, I'm just taking the shell off the shrimp and placing them in my paper towel lined bowl, and I will address why the bowl is lined with paper towel a little bit later. In our household, we like to buy these big bags of frozen shrimp. They're wild and raw with the tail and the shell on, but they are deveined. In my opinion, you save a lot of money when you buy frozen instead of buying fresh, and they last much longer. Throw them in your freezer, and whenever you need a quick meal, just take them out. They thaw super quick. You can run them under cold water if you want. That'll take them from frozen to fully thawed in about 10 to 15 minutes, and honestly, you really can't beat that. The other thing that I like about these is that they are jumbo sized and they're not those little tiny shrimp, so you get a nice portion when you do cook them. What I really wanted to talk to you about though is why I line my bowl with paper towel. So going back to the whole water and the thawing process of shrimp, when you have frozen shrimp, fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to look at it, you get moisture. And if you thaw them with the water method or if you just throw them in the fridge, the ice will obviously turn into water. We've all gone through science class, we know that. And you want all that water out. The reason you want all that water out is because you want your shrimp to sear on the pan when you cook them. You don't want them to steam. And with water comes a steaming method of cooking, which we don't want for this recipe. So just pat your shrimp dry and make sure you get them as dry as can be before you lather them up with your avocado oil and season them up. So I'm making my own Cajun seasoning, but absolutely feel free to use your favorite store-bought if you would like. I just prefer to use mine. And I just want to show you the spices that I use, and I will list the ingredients below in my description, of course, if you do want to use my recipe as well. So what I have here is paprika, kosher coarse salt, garlic powder, pepper, black pepper that is, onion powder, dried oregano, cayenne, and dried thyme leaves. When you are confident that your shrimp are fully dry, add 1 tablespoon of a neutral oil. Yes, I'm using avocado oil, you guessed it correctly. And make sure you coat all the shrimp evenly, so toss them around, and then you can add your Cajun seasoning. I'm using 1 tablespoon per 12 shrimp, but adjust to your liking accordingly. I like my food very spicy, and then mix the shrimp around to make sure they're all coated. With the shrimp fully seasoned and resting on the side, we can now begin sauteing our vegetables. I am going super simple with it today and just using bell peppers and a red onion, but feel free to use any kind of vegetables that you like. I'll also be seasoning them with my Cajun seasoning that I made earlier for the shrimp. Let's get to it. Heat a nonstick skillet on medium-high heat and add 1 tablespoon of oil into your skillet. And once that's nice and hot and the oil is evenly distributed onto the skillet, you can add your veggies. When you add your veggies, listen to that sizzle. There it is. That's exactly what you want to hear. That's how you know your pan is hot enough. Stir them around and cook them for 5 minutes until all your vegetables are soft. Stirring constantly again. Once you are confident that they are soft, you can add in 1 teaspoon of the Cajun seasoning, the same seasoning that you use for the shrimp. Make sure all the vegetables are coated and set your heat to low and just leave that until you're done. With the vegetables sauteing on low heat in the back, we can start with making the sauce for the bowl. This is a very easy sauce to make. Just add half a teaspoon of garlic powder to 2 tablespoons of mayo, and then follow that up with 2 teaspoons of sriracha. And if you have a low heat tolerance, then add less than 2 teaspoons. If you want it more spicy, add more than 2 teaspoons. It's quite simple math here. And then I follow that up with a pinch of salt just to make the flavors pop. And that's all to it. Mix that up, make sure all the ingredients are combined, and you're done. My rice just finished boiling, and now I will show you how to make the cilantro lime rice. Feel free to use white rice, basmati rice, jasmine rice, brown rice, quinoa if you'd like, whatever you like you can use as your base. I have about 2 cups of basmati rice that I've cooked through, and I will add 2 tablespoons of chopped cilantro to that, as well as 2 tablespoons of fresh lime juice. And again, to get the lime juice, all I did was roll out a lime, cut it in half, and squeeze out the juice. And then finally, I will add a drizzle of avocado oil to make sure the rice doesn't stick and it's nice and incorporated well with all the other ingredients. Open the can of beans, throw them in a pot, and heat them up until they're nice and hot. With everything just about done, we can now start the shrimp. Heat a nonstick skillet on medium-high to high heat and add a drizzle of oil to the pan. Make sure the pan is nice and hot. And when you're confident it is, you can start by adding in the shrimp one at a time, and make sure you remember which shrimp you put first, second, third, etc., 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 until you place the last shrimp, because in that order you will want to flip them when you do so. Make sure you get a nice sear, 2 minutes on the first side, and then you can flip them, and you just want to hear that sizzle throughout the entire cooking process. And after a minute on the other side, they are done. Everything's all done. We have the vegetables right here, the sriracha mayo, the avocado, the cilantro lime rice, the Cajun shrimp, the black beans, and now it's time to assemble. So what I did to assemble this was grabbed a bowl, and I started off with my base, which was the cilantro lime rice. I covered the bottom with that. You can add as much as you like or as little as you want. And once I'm satisfied with the amount, I will then add the sriracha mayo. And you can add as much or as little of that as you want. I'm going to add a lot because I like the torture of food being extremely spicy, but that's just crazy me, so do as you desire. Once you have enough on your bowl, you can proceed with adding your beans, just as such. Try to drain some of that excess water from the beans because you don't want your food to get soggy. So just add that to your liking, and then we will move on to the fajita vegetables. Add those onto the side as well. And once you have your desired amount, you can put your shrimp on the bowl.
Again, I'm using 6 shrimp, so I'm just gonna gently put them on the side right next to the fajita vegetables. Make sure everything looks nice and pretty for you guys. If this was just me eating it, I'd just throw it all on a plate and not give a crap about what it looks like. And then last but not least, I will put the avocado on the bowl, and there you have it.
We hit healthy, we hit fast, and we hit delicious. Now it's time for a taste test. I'm gonna try to get a bite that has a little bit of everything in it. A little bit of beans, a little bit of avocado. Mix this up with the sauce. Here we go. Here we go. A little bit of rice and the shrimp. I really don't know why you would ever want to go to Chipotle or Qdoba after you make this. I mean, seriously, I'm not just trying to toot my own horn, but this just blows them both out of the water. It's cheaper, it's faster, you know what you're putting into your food. I really don't think it gets much better than this. Mwah. Krasavchik.
In the kitchen wrist, twisted like it's stir fry. In the kitchen wrist, twisted like it's stir fry.